Hi guys, Charlie here from FunkyVapes with another funky review for everyone this evening. Tonight, of course, as you can see by the title, taking a look at the Caravela by Pedro, coming out of Portugal. Absolutely the most gorgeous device I've ever used. So, I want to take a look at this. This is take 5. Take 6, sorry. I've recorded 5 different half-an-hour videos and I haven't been happy. I just keep forgetting things and learning something new. And I just finished a video and then I learned something new. So we'll talk about everything possible. First things first, I want to talk about how to get one of these. I know a lot of people are curious about that, so we're going to talk about it right now. And we'll have a vape on it first. This is with an AGAT. Delightful. So what you do is you go along to caravelamods.pt and sign up there. There's a forum. I'll put links down in the description. So when you're signed up, you go to a Google Doc form where you fill out everything. Every last nuance of this is custom made for the most part. Oops, there goes the battery. You get to pick your tube size. You may just want one tube, which is fine. I ordered mine. Actually, I got this one from the classifieds, so I actually have one being custom made right now, plus a third one actually on order. So you pick out your tubes. I ordered one of each tube for mine. You can get 18 350 tubes, 18 500, which I don't have yet. This guy didn't have one, or 18 650 tubes. And this guy had two 18 650 tubes. Anyways, so you can order them in brass or stainless steel, brushed or polished. So here's a brushed one, here's a polished one. The brushed one I haven't actually cleaned in about 3 or 4 days now. I want to get nice patina on it, make it look very old. As you can see, the engraving is spectacular. It comes out really nice once you get some wear on this. And it's just as nice in stainless steel and polished. Real deep in there, yet very fine lines. It looks amazing. Easily the best engraving I've seen. I know the new GGTS stuff has nice deep engraving, but these lines are just so small and precise. It just looks so clean and elegant. So you can pick stainless steel, brass. You can get 1 tube, 2 tubes, 10 tubes if you want, I suppose. So yeah, it's obliged to have the engraving on them. They just come with the engraving. For polish, it's an extra €5. So if you want brushed, it's €5 cheaper. I guess you can look at it that way if you'd like. I'm gonna pop this off quick. And that. With the caps, again, you can get brass or stainless steel, polished or unpolished. This one's polished. You can also get mixed finish, where the top will be brushed and the side will be polished. And the advantage to that is you won't get these terrible scratching marks as easily. Mine has scratches on it from screwing and unscrewing Genesis atomizers onto it. So the one I ordered is going to have the mixed finish. Then you get a little Delrin insert. Very nice shiny brass center pin that adjusts. You just have to turn it either way. You get a whole bag of them actually, different sizes for different batteries. I'll show you that. So basically, screw on your atomizing device. Oh, I forgot to show you the channels too. If you're a dripper, there's your bottom airflow channels there. You can also order a custom top cap that has channels cut right in the side. So if you're using a cardo tank or a dripping atomizer that's bottom fed, you can still have it sit flush, and there'll be notches cut in here. But that's something completely extra. You have to write that in and specify that. Put it on. Not a single rattle at all. It's fantastic. Unlock it, and it should be ready to vape. Yeah. That wasn't very good. There we go. I'll explain something in just a second. Moving forward, the switch. Very nice switch. Brass contact there. Vent hole, which is all integrated into it, so it'll vent out the crack here. You don't actually have to see it. Very nice response here. The reason I reshot this video actually is because it comes with 2 different springs, and I had this spring in. So I shot the video, and my only gripe was that people were saying you could place it down in the unlocked position and it wouldn't fire, and mine was firing in the unlocked position, which wasn't a big deal because I like to lock it anyways. But I realized the 2 different springs have 2 different tensions, so if you use the tensor spring, it's a little more difficult to push the button, and it's only a millimeter you have to push it, so it's not difficult at all. But I can place it down now, and it's not firing. With this spring, when I placed it down, it fired. So I just changed the spring out, and that's literally the reason I reshot this video. So we'll take the switch off. The switch is, like I said, very clicky, very small amount of force needed to press it, and you don't have to press it very far, which is fantastic. So this pin here is knurled, as you can see. You just unscrew that, nice and easy, and without losing this washer. These washers, you should get some extra ones with it. You can add or remove the washers, again, to give it more play with different battery sizes. Here you have the serial number ring with your serial number on it, 138, and the locking ring, which is reverse threaded. Very easy to use, smooth as butter, much like every thread on this system. There you go, that comes right off if you choose. Again, you can get all these parts in brass or stainless steel, polished or unpolished, or mixed. Then you have your spring and the actual button. As you can see, the spring is much smaller and more tightly coiled than the softer one, and it makes for a little more force needed to press the button, but you can also place it down in the unlocked position and it won't fire on you. So to put it back together, you just put the spring in there and use your chubby little fingers to get this screw back in. Huzzah. And you want that in there nice and snug. It's great. Whoop. So, to remark on the brass contacts, I love the brass contacts. I always have loved brass contacts. My GGTS has stainless steel contacts. Look at that. I placed it down, and it's not firing, and it's unlocked. That's amazing. Now, a lot of people say that brass is better because you get a harder hit out of it. And I'd like to contest that, if I may, without starting a huge debate. My feelings are you don't get a harder hit, you get the feeling of a harder hit. What brass does is it more efficiently conducts the electricity. So when you hit the button, it just fires. Oh, I guess I showed the button as well so you can see the response time. It's 0. It's instant. With stainless steel, my experience anyways, you press the button and it takes just an extra half second to a second to heat up. The temperature difference between brass and stainless steel conducting the electricity is completely negligible in my opinion. You're not going to get, basically if you're taking 5 to 6 second drags as most people do on Genesis stuff, you're essentially vaping at the same temperature. It just takes the stainless steel a couple, maybe a second, second and a half a second longer to get to that temperature, which in turn does the average temperature spread out. If you're taking 6 second drags on either of them, the brass is hotter, so you are getting a hotter vape, a stronger vape. But if you were to take an 8 second drag and a 6 second drag, these are just arbitrary numbers, you would eventually get the same vape. It's just this is much more efficient, much quicker, which results in me loving brass. Trust me, brass contacts make all the difference. I just want to be specific and say that, I don't know, see now I'm rethinking this. It is a stronger vape, but the reason for that is it's just a lot quicker with the brass. Anyways, I digress from that. I won't even vape on the stainless steel because there is no difference. It's just, it takes an extra second or so to get that nice coils heated up and glowing. So, back to the Caravela, which is the star of the show. I'm going to pop the stainless steel tube off. As you can see, the threads, you don't even, I probably just destroyed my computer. You don't actually, oh, the battery's in upside down too. You actually don't have to even really screw them. You just give it some force and it unscrews itself. Like, it's off. Gorgeous. So we'll put the brass one on. As I said, this is brushed, but I haven't cleaned this at all in the last few days. Beautiful completed look. Again, no rattling at all. shake the crap out of this thing, no rattling. And vape it. Gorgeous vape every time. 22 millimeter diameter, so it works out exactly the same diameter as the AGAT here. I hate the knurling, but I have an AGAW that I'm going to be purchasing soon. So that should look real nice. I think it also looks particularly sharp with our good old friend, the Bliss. Now the Bliss is probably 1/4 of a millimeter less in diameter. You can barely tell, but it looks fantastic. It's such a nice completed look. So the vape on the Bliss now. Ah, now it's not vaping. All that means is we have to take this off really quick and just make sure that pin touches it, not even 1/4 of a turn difference. And that's how easy it is to switch between atomizers. You just have to make sure the pins line up. Again, no rattling at all, and that's why it's rattling, because that. Another fantastic vape. Now, if you want to switch to something else, let's not the line. Let's use the dud, did, clone, the chid, the didn't, the griffin, whatever. Beautiful. And here we go. I have such a nice coil on this right now. I'm loving it. So it really is that simple. So Pedro's done a great job machining these, as I've said. Everything, all the threads are just butter smooth. Everything looks great. That's the key to this. I mean, it is a fixed voltage tube mod, but it's so elegant. I wish I could compare this to something. Here's a bolt. The bolt is bigger than this in 18650 mode, and this is only 18500. It's very small. There's no wasted space. By that I mean it's only slightly larger than an 18650 battery, which is crazy. Here's an 18650. There's the tube. There's not a lot of extra room going in there. It's very, very small. And while we're at it, we'll switch to an 18350, and I'll just show you the process of doing that. So always screw on the, oop, I shouldn't have that laying down. Always screw on the switch part first, just so your serial number lines up all nice, like so. And then pop in your favorite 18350 battery and put on the top cap. Oh no, there's an unsightly gap. That means you have to switch your pin out. So we'll take this, pins off. You didn't even see that, I took it off so quick. And we need to go to a shorter pin. Like I said, it comes with 5 different ones. I'm not sure exactly which pin this one's going to need. Let's try this one. So you screw it in. There's a flathead screw on it, but you actually don't need to use a screwdriver at all. And I'll put on the AGAT back on. Oops. Really should have put this on first, I suppose. Something's all wonky here. That was odd. So you put it on, put your pin in to make contact. It's making contact, and then screw it on. And we'll see if it fires. And it fires. So there you have a tiny little, I mean, back to the bolt. It's so tiny. And here we go. a rockin' vape even in this little mode here. So you have versatility in your battery size. It'll take a kick, no problem. I don't have one handy right now. I didn't even try with this little sucker here, the Vape Safe. Well, now I gotta change the pin out again, but it has no problem with a kick or a Vape Safe in it. I've seen people use them before. Everything is so simple, so elegant and beautiful. The only thing I would change on this, if I could change anything, is just this process of the pins. I would put something that telescopes, some sort of pin system that that self-adjusts, possibly, that has its own little screw on it. Probably akin to the GGTB. I would go that route, and I'm not exactly sure why they haven't gone that route, to be honest. It's just, it's a little bit of a pain if you're switching between modes on the fly, but if you're at home, it takes, 10 seconds. It's not a big deal. It's literally my only criticism. So again, the locking mechanism is reverse threaded, so she won't fire, and literally just as easily as you could imagine, like butter. I'm trying to go as delicate as I can and show you just how little force is involved with this. You can actually just one move if you want. Locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked. Flawless. So overall, again, I'm not even sure if I mentioned this in this video or one of the other 5, but my expectations of this device were so high when I got it that I think that's a good thing. That it would have been easy to shatter them. I would have been like, oh, this isn't as good as everyone says it is. It's just as good as it looks. It's just as good as everyone says it is, and it's even better. It just feels so nice when you're using it. Easily the best APV, e-cig, mod, whatever you want to call it. This is the best one I've used. So much so that I've sold my Provaries, my Orion, everything's going. I just want to own 3 Caravelas and my GGTS, and I'm going to be happy using all my cool Genesis stuff on it. I guess a few more things I'll mention. Pedro, the maker. I'm not sure I mentioned the drip tips. He also sells custom-made drip tips that look so smart. The guy didn't give me his drip tip for some reason when I bought this from him. Probably because they're so nice. So I ordered 2 drip tips on my current order. They're 15 euros a pop. They're engraved with the Caravela C on the button. I'm not even sure if I showed that in this video. They're engraved with that. Beautiful engraving. I can see myself seeing myself on the webcam, which is cool. You can get the drip tips, and he's also doing something fantastic for these. He's making 2 custom atomizers that replace the top cap, so it will essentially make it a hybrid. I'm still going to call it a hybrid, although maybe it's not a true hybrid, but I've seen other things called hybrids that screw in and out of a tube, so I'm calling it a hybrid. I think it's the same way that the iHybrid is a hybrid, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still a hybrid. So one's a 306 dripping tank. Basically, you screw in a 306 atomizer, and you fill up this tank, and he hasn't unveiled how, but it mysteriously feeds the atomizer, and apparently it does it very well. And it has a Pyrex tank on it, or you can get a stainless steel tank. You get both, actually. And the Pyrex, he actually engraved it. So it's actually etched into the Pyrex, and it looks so nice. And he put some flourishes on the top with a little compass, and both have their own custom drip tip, I believe. The Genesis one is a nice Genesis. It has 2 inline air holes. You can check all of this out on the Caravela forums. I'll put links to the actual atomizer section too. So if you get yourself a Caravela, you can get very nice atomizers to go with it and make it into a really sexy hybrid. And in case I haven't mentioned it in this video yet, because I'm losing track of in which video I said what, they're only making 999 of these. So this is the time to get them. You want to get them right away. And only Caravela owners can purchase these atomizers, and not because it's some elitist thing, it's because they're only going to fit on the Caravela. They might fit on like a PAPS because they're very similar, but I don't even know if that's the case. I don't think they will. They might. So if you want a Caravela, get one real quick. Look how nice this looks, this sexy little thing. Another vape. So this is my video of the Caravela, my review. Easy 10 out of 10, best e-cig device I've ever used. It's just, it works exactly as it should. It's so simple, constructed flawlessly to very fine specifications. The materials are top notch. It looks great, but the important thing is it performs great while it's looking great. All around, so nice, so efficient, and this video is a lot shorter than the other one, so I'm sure I left out about 10 minutes of things. So if you have any questions on how to get a Caravela, how to order it, like in terms of the parts, any questions on the process, please shoot me a PM, text me, message me here on ECF, anywhere you want, and I'll do my best to help you with that. All the links are down below. I'll make sure of that. So go ahead and check it out. So big thank you to Pedro. This is just gorgeous. It's a piece of art that is functional, and that's the key. It's already a hybrid because it's hybrid art and function, which I think is very neat. So just to cap it off, I'm going to put on the stainless steel tube, put this pin back in. That's my only section of criticism, is this pin system could probably be changed to some sort of telescoping thing, unless I'm just not thinking about some sort of complication that I'm sure exists, I just don't know about. So we'll put the switch back on. Easy as pie. Everything lines up. I just want to reiterate, no rattling at all. It's just the nicest, sleekest, perfectly constructed device, and everything looks gorgeous on it. I'm not even sure if I put other atomizers on in this video, so I'm going to switch the atomizer. We'll put the bliss back on, just to send her out in style. There's the bliss. Of course, it's not firing because I have to adjust this pin again. But I guess this is important because I'm showing you it's actually not a hassle at all. It takes half a second to adjust that pin, and we're back to vaping. So this has been the review of the Caravela, #1 e-cig on the market in my opinion right now, if you're into fixed voltage, obviously, because it's not variable voltage. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, vape groovily, and I'll catch you later.